In the multitude of counsel, there is safety. Welcome to the All Things Done podcast, a vision inspired by the truth found in God's Word and designed to inform, educate, and impact you in every way. My name is Akintunde and I am your host. Join us as we embark on a journey to becoming a better version of ourselves. Hello everyone, welcome to another weekend where we discuss the issue of growth for teenagers, and also involve parents, in this atmosphere where we get to learn more about how our children can become better, how our teenagers can become better versions of themselves. And today actually we are looking at what we call digital or online parenting. Digital or online parenting. And again, I have with me my co-host, Tobiloba. Today's episode. Tobiloba, welcome again today.
Thanks a lot, Akintunde. Good to be here again.
Okay, so welcome, yeah. So today, it's no brainer. It's not a strange news that we now have two worlds. At least two visible worlds that we can see. Number one is a world we call the digital world, and number two is the physical world. Traditionally, we had a world where we usually have people roughly do everything just over people roughly do everything physically. You interact, parents and children, they are in the same room, right? They're in the same room and you interact and everything like that. But now we move online. We have moved online. Why? Because technology has taken over, right? So you can even have about parents and their children in the same room and everybody are on their mobile devices. That is quite bad, but again, it's somehow the reality we have found ourselves in. Everybody is just trying to communicate online. Yeah, I mean this is a little bit funny, but we just mentioned it. So I remember my boss, right? My boss can be in the same office as I am, and he will just want to pass an information, right? And he just send me a mail or send me a WhatsApp message as opposed to just telling me, that okay, Akintunde, come here and let's talk. That is not bad. At least that's a kind of work environment. But within the home, right? I believe that we need to embrace a more interpersonal relationship. But that is not to say that we don't still have a digital environment. So we are talking about digital parenting. Now, parents, part of what we need to understand is that if our children are moving online, then we have to be online to actually parent them, right? Today, yes, many of the exposures that the children are having, teenagers are having, are exposures online. Whether they have access to it via your mobile phone or your computers, or through their mobile phone, their friends' mobile devices or their computers, or their friends' parents' devices, right? And this again brings to fore the reality that every parent has to learn how to parent online. We cannot say that, I don't know how to. Back gone are the days when parents who, I could remember when I was growing up, and sophistication was gradually becoming the case. The digital and technological advancement was gradually springing up all over the country. And I could recall what
I said when people were still trying to adapt to the changes in technology.
Exactly. I could recall then, I was still telling my parents, okay, that they should join Facebook. When all these apps come out, I'll tell them, join up, and they'll be like, I can't be pressing my phone. Young mother my telephone, that you children are the ones that will be pressing phone. I know that, but again, the time will come when if you don't follow the trend in a way, the trend happens to you or life happens to you, so you just have to catch up, right? Yeah. So many of our parents now are on Facebook, right? But many of them are slow learners to adapting to digital technology, which in a way has been a very, very big disadvantage, because if as these technologies are coming out, we are at least learning, how they work. For example, we have what we call cryptocurrency now. Many parents don't know what cryptocurrencies are about, but your children are actually dealing in cryptocurrencies. They know a lot about it. They've learnt about it. Now, whether they are using it to perpetrate crimes or not, or whether they are using it to commit fraud or not, you don't know. Why? Because you did not learn about it. You chose not to learn about it. Yeah, these things can be technical, but again, they've made it very simple. I mean, once you type on YouTube is like a DIY university, a do-it-yourself university, where if you type how to brush your teeth, you will see it, the simplified way of brushing your teeth. If you type what?
I said you see steps.
Yes, you see all the steps there. If you type, what is cryptocurrency, how does it work, you will see the steps there. Everything will be pretty clear to you. So, I just believe that it's our own decision that we kind of decided that, okay, no, I don't want to learn this, it's not relevant. But believe me, in today's world that we are in, and given the kind of, the kind of happenings that are taking place in times like this, parents need to be very versatile, they need to be up to date, and they need to also learn how to parent online. So, I don't know if you want to speak to this Tobiloba before I move on to talk about maybe how to parent online.
Okay, so I think you said it all already, but like it is, parents should also be willing to evolve, right? The world is fast-paced, and it is only important that you also keep up with activities. And so children are really smart these days, and we've had a lot of stories where children actually scam their parents, right? Which is not supposed to be, and that's because they understand that their parents are deficient in that area, right? They don't know so much. As something as little as having their ATM cards, and they don't know they are paying, and then children can easily just transfer money from their parents' accounts to theirs, right? And they don't even know. So things like this is like an area that parents should also look out for. So when you get involved in the world, it makes it easy for you to also be involved in everything that happens in your children's life. Move with technology, basically. So yeah, so that's it.
That's really cool. That is really cool. Again, moving on, we need to talk about how to parent online. And we've said it earlier that we now live in the digital space, right? So we need to learn how to parent online. So number one step is that there's a website called googlemyactivity.com. If you type on your browser now, googlemyactivity.com, like Google, Google, my my activity, activity.com, right? No space in between them, just write them together and enter it, right? When you go to that medium, right, what it does is it shows you a trail of everything you're doing online or everything you've done online. The history can go as far back as the last 6 months or the last 3 months, right? So you can see the places where you have visited, you can see the websites you frequently visit, the website you visited today, the website you visited yesterday, the ones you visited last week, the ones you visited last month. And these are all like and this is very essential. Why? Because especially for those of you who have your children use your mobile devices for whatever they want to use it for. Sometimes your children will tell you, okay, we need to actually do assignments in school, and I need to do this research online. They may not tell you the website they went to, right? And even if you ask, some of them may tell lies. But this is one guide that really helps you to monitor what is happening. So when the person goes to a particular website, you are able to know that, okay, this was the website my child went to at so time, at so date, and you're able to take note of it. So for parents who their children go through pornography sites, you will see it there. Oh, this was it. Exactly. So, and you can know how to monitor how. What?
Okay, this is actually cool. Sorry to cut in. I'm just saying, what happens when even children know this?
What happens even when children know this? Okay, so the thing about it is that you will have to delete your history, to be able to, and it's only the person that has access to that email that can delete the history. Do you get what I'm saying? Exactly. So it's if children are aware of it, and I know of course children are very smart. If they are aware of it, they can play around with it. But again, it's also very important that parents are aware. At least, by being aware, you at least are 50% ahead of the curve. As opposed to when you are not even aware at all.
That's all. Yes, aware and
yeah.
ahead.
So, exactly. So then, I also think one thing that is so very important for parents is that, yes, while I'm an advocate of empowering your children digitally, which is that you get them laptops, get them mobile devices, again, because most of the skills they need to require these tools, right? But I believe there are certain ages that you should give certain access to your children. So for example, I for one, right, I would, if I should have a child now, right, part of the things I have to really look at, okay, if my young man is somebody that really loves to play games, which I mean that's a given for most young chap, right? Yes, young boys, they really love to play games and everything like that. So part of what I have to do is, because I know that there's a tendency that an addiction can stem out of it, I would probably not give that child a mobile phone until a particular age, right? I would try as much as possible to make only my mobile device available, and we have what we call a phone time. And within that phone time, there must be something that you're doing at that particular time. If it's research you want to do, you do the research, and I will ask questions. Okay, so what research are you working on? What website did you visit? Blah 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 blah. And this with this particular arc I earlier shared, I can easily know what places my child actually visited. As a matter of fact, because Google, for example, as if you have a Gmail, for example, now Gmail allows you to log in your email into multiple devices, so you can log it in on your phone as well as your computer. So while your child is using your phone to browse on the phone, right, you can actually see what he's doing through your own computer. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. So that is how these things work. We must begin to learn how to parent online. We must never outsource it. We must never relegate it to the background.
Very true.
Yeah. Do you want to say something, Toby?
Yeah, something very quickly. Even on TV, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, there are certain channels that children shouldn't be exposed to. So there's something called parental control, where parents are allowed to block certain channels from their children. So while we do not have the power to control the media in quotes, I mean, we don't have the power to say this is what you should air and this is what you shouldn't. Well, of course, we have the power to say, okay, my children, I'm not going to be exposed to certain things. So I think that can also work. Parents should get familiar with certain channels. Some of these cartoons and all that are heard on TV are not exactly good. So you should also know about them so as to be able to curb excesses and all. So I think that's also cool.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Even most of these mobile devices, especially the TVs and all that, they actually have monitoring controls too. You can set a bar on, for example, if you have a smart TV at home, for example, and your children are trying to access the smart TV, the internet using the smart TV, part of what you can set, through the parental control is, you can restrict the kind of websites they should be visiting, right? And these are also things that you can also set on their mobile devices. As a matter of fact, for a child to have a Gmail, there's a certain age he must have, attained, and these are all intentional structures. So if your child has not attained that particular age, it simply means that the providers of that particular solution believe that they have not attained the level of intelligence to be able to manage that platform. So it is better that you give them your own platform, which is that, instead of you opening it for them and then, them telling lies and saying that, okay, I was born in 1980 something. No, don't allow that. Rather let them use your own platform, then you can monitor things. As a matter of fact, you can even place a bar on the kind of websites they can visit and all these things like that. So yes, so I think parents need to be very, very, we should not see it as an overwhelming responsibility. Otherwise, what we'd see is that we'll be raising kids that are even more aware than we are, and we don't have the capacity to parent them. So the parents must be willing to attend trainings, conferences that talk about technology tools as well, digital tools as well, so that they are constantly on the edge of learning, knowing how to use these tools, how to use these devices. Because again, your children cannot have certain conversations with you if you do not have that level of intelligence. Yes, absolutely. That's one of the things I've noticed. I could recall there were certain conversations I couldn't have with my parents, and that's because I feel that they did not have capacity to give me the right advice, or maybe to have that kind of conversation with me. But today's parents shouldn't do that, because the world is spiraling on its own, and we must not allow our children to fall into the claws of the devil and all his devices. So we have to be very intentional about how we parent. So here it is. This is all we have today for digital parenting. Please do well to share your tips, your nuggets in the comment section. How you are parenting digitally, to ensure that your children are getting the kind of clear monitoring and control, right? Or you can even share your failures as well, and so that other people can learn from it, right? Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you very much for joining today. Again, we're grateful for having you. My name is Akintunde, and I'm with Tobiloba. See you next week. Bye bye. Thank you for listening. If you have been blessed by this topic, please share with your friends and also drop reviews on the community page or our email. You can also share with us burdens on your heart or topics you would want us to talk about. Feel free to give to promote the spread of this podcast by partnering with us on our website at allthingsdenpodcast.disha.page. Thank you for your constant support. See you next week.